Amigos de Combo, nos encontramos con el protagonista de una de las películas más esperadas de Disney, La Bella y La Bestia. Él se llama Dan. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good.
Y también tenemos al director del barco, el director de esta película. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome to Mexico.
Thank you very much.
Who's there?
Do you wish to take your father's place?
Come into the light.
How are you feeling with this adaptation? There's a lot of expectation with the people, with the fans.
I know it all went into this knowing how important this was to a lot of people, but I think it's also taken us by surprise as we get closer to the opening, just how many people are into it, you know? But I feel good about it, because that's the thing you want as a filmmaker, that somebody's waiting on the other end, really eager to see what you did and engaged in it. Even if it, oh God, I wouldn't have done that way, they care, you know?
Show me the girl.
Look at her. What if she is the one? The one who'll break the spell?
How do you feel to be part of their childhood? Or
You do feel that responsibility to tell the message clearly, because it's such a valuable one for kids to hear.
It's amazing. It's a great privilege when Disney call up and ask you to be part of the next wave of fairy tale telling.
You are the beast in this new movie.
I am. Such a great role, such a fun role, and such a fun group of people to do.
How was the election of the cast? Because you have big names into the screen, and we have cameos and also the voiceover. But
That's right.
how does they accept? And
I know, it was crazy. It's because everyone loves Beauty and the Beast, I think, So you call up Ian McKellen or Emma Thompson and you say, you want to be in Beauty and the Beast? Like, sure, which part?
Yeah, there's some incredible voices. Emma Thompson, Audra McDonald, Stanley Tucci. A great lineup of characters behind all of these objects who then appear at the end of the movie again.
Hello. You can talk.
Well, of course he can talk.
Hello. Pleased to meet you.
how did you do it? Because you have almost all the time CGI or motion capture, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a combination of technologies really. Motion capture for the body, for the physical orientation of the beast. The facial capture was done separately, and they would fuse these two. Everything the beast did with his face in a separate room every week, and then they would sort of put them together. So yeah, it's a mind-blowing fusion of new technologies.
Is there any difference between the animated film and this live-action film that you give us?
No.
It's
It's
the same
identical.
story and the characters.
Every shot. No, I'm kidding. No, there are big differences because it's live action, right? So then you have to rethink the characters. They have to be more human, more complicated. The romance, just like that. You really have to believe in all the steps along the way that of somebody falling in love with the beast, So that's very different from the animated film.
I mean, it's not radically different, but there's different elements that are brought through. For example, Emma's Belle. In our version, she's the inventor. Her father was the inventor in the animated film, but Kevin Kline's Maurice is more of an artist, he's a creator and very inventive. But so Emma took that for her own character and said, right, and Belle's going to invent in this. And so in our movie, she essentially invents the washing machine. And so she has more time for reading and teaching young girls to read, and so there's just little elements like that we find to sort of add to the story really.
You're so ahead of your time. This is a small village.
I'm talking about those difference. You have a darker version of Gaston.
Yes, yeah,
Luc
right.
Evans made an amazing job, I think. Right?
Oh, good, yeah, right? It's so interesting because he's somebody I knew was a great performer, could really sing the hell out of it, and he's got this big, bubbly personality, But when it came to do the dark stuff, the really stuff where he turns violent, I was very excited to see both in auditions and then on the set, just how deep he can go in that direction,
Yeah, Gaston, and he really makes something of the villain of Gaston. I guess in the animated film, he is the villain, but he's a bit more of a buffoon, I guess. Yeah, he finds a real darkness to Gaston towards the end of the film, which is very interesting, especially now.
And Josh Gad make an excellent
sidekick, right? Exactly, yeah, human punching bag.
That's a role that I think fans of the original will really be delighted by how we've moved it on. It's really fleshed out this character and found something incredibly funny, but also very sensitive and real. So there wasn't much in the animated film. He was just a sort of silly, squishy thing, and he's really brought him to life in such an amazing way.
As a specimen, yes, and intimidating.
was surprised because everybody loves Emma Watson lately. Everybody says she has to be Bella, right?
I know. It's true. It's like she got elected as Bella or something. That's...
How was it work with her? Because she's not just beautiful, also intelligent.
Yes, well, that's what you always hope for, right? That if you're lucky, you get smart actors, because smart actors start to know the part better than you do and start to be able to contribute. And also, I think in movies, actors have to reveal parts of themselves in the roles that they play, right? So with Emma, there's no filter. There's a real connection between Belle and who Emma is.
Amazing. I mean, she's such an interesting woman. And I think the most recent thing I'd seen her do before we started filming this movie was her incredible speech she gave at the UN about, the empowerment of young women and the He for She campaign, educating young men, as well as about feminism and about, the gender equality, really. So to get to sit with her and talk about that, and then for that conversation to really run into the way that we talked about this fairy tale was so exciting for me to get to engage a fairy tale on that kind of level.
Have you really read every one of these books?
Some of them are in Greek.
How was the adaptation for the songs? Because the music is so important.
So important, yeah. We wanted to keep all the songs that had been in the animated film, right? And to add new ones, but then to make them both freshen the sound of them. Again, animated film has a certain children's sound, frankly, in the way the orchestra plays and even some of the chorus. You think of guest star, which is great for that film. But here, you've got real people, you've got 100 villagers, so it has a different kind of more human sound,
Finally, which is your favorite song of all the movie?
My favorite song, I mean, Beauty and the Beast, the central, the main theme is probably my favorite. I think it's the catchiest song I've ever heard. But there's a new song that's been written for Kevin Kline's Maurice. I just think it's beautiful. It's a really, really lovely song. It gets me every time.
Have you heard the Spanish version of Beauty and the Beast?
No, I haven't yet, but I've got to hear this today.
It's a classic here.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just such a great tune.
Fábula ancestral.
Fábula ancestral. Sueño hecho verdad.
There it is.
How was the work with the production design? Because
I was so fortunate to work with Sarah Greenwood, who is the production designer, an absolute genius, But also, I have to say, we made the film in England. They're famous for having the best crews in the world, and when you watched the level of artistry in the construction of the sets, and the painting of the sets, the finishing of the sets, it was really like nothing I'd ever seen. And I would say the worst moment on that movie, when we finish with the set and they start to tear it down, they just felt like things that had been there for centuries and that they should stay forever.
Did you keep something for you?
Oh, little tiny things, but believe me, Disney's controls it all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
This is
good.
good.
Thank you.
Dan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome to Mexico.
Thank you very much.